Good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome into today's daily Bible reading for March the 18th. Today we are reading together the 34th Psalm, Psalm number 34. The translator supplied heading says that Yahweh delivers the righteous, but then the manuscript heading that we have tells us this is concerning David when he pretended to be insane in the presence of Abimelech, who drove him out, and he departed. This story is found in 1 Samuel chapter 21 and verses 10 through 15. Remember that Saul or David was on the run from Saul, and he's going anywhere and everywhere in order to stay away from Saul, and he ends up in Philistine territory, and he comes up into the presence of Abimelech, and he feigns this insanity, which allows him to be able to escape from Abimelech. And this psalm seems to be the reflecting of David on that event, and he simply recognizes that it was Yahweh who delivered him from this situation, and he did so because David sought to take refuge in him, because David was faithful to him, because David was someone who sought him in a moment of trial and difficulty. So let's read about that here in Psalm number 34, beginning in verse number 1. We'll get the text up on the screen and read along together here. Again, Psalm number 34 and verse number 1, the Psalm of David. I will bless Yahweh at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. I will boast in Yahweh. The humble will hear and be glad. Proclaim Yahweh's greatness with me. Let us exalt his name together. I sought Yahweh, and he answered me and rescued me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant with joy. Their faces will never be ashamed. This poor man cried, and Yahweh heard him and saved him from all his troubles. The angel of Yahweh encamps around those who fear him and rescues them. Taste and see that Yahweh is good. How happy is the person who takes refuge in him. You who are his holy ones, fear Yahweh. For those who fear him lack nothing. Young lions lack food and go hungry, but those who seek Yahweh will not lack any good thing. Come, children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of Yahweh. Who is someone who desires life, loving a long life to enjoy what is good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from deceitful speech. Turn away from evil and do what is good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of Yahweh are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry for help. The face of Yahweh is set against those who do what is evil, to remove all memory of them from the earth. The righteous cry out, and Yahweh hears, and rescues them from all their troubles. Yahweh is near the brokenhearted. He saves those crushed in spirit. One who is righteous has many adversaries, but Yahweh rescues him from them all. He protects all his bones, not even one of them is broken. Evil brings death to the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be punished. Yahweh redeems the life of his servants, and all who take refuge in him will not be punished. And that is Psalm number 34. Again, David's thinking back on this story found in 1 Samuel chapter 21 and verses 10 through 15 of escaping from under the watch of Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, as he fakes being crazy, and he looks back on the situation again. He's running from Saul. He finds himself in another dangerous situation, and yet he is delivered, and he gives full credit to Yahweh for his deliverance, which is why he begins the psalm by saying, I will bless Yahweh at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. Notice these two timestamps: at all times and always. What does that include? That includes even in bad times. Even in bad times, and maybe most especially in bad times, are the times when David says, I will boast in Yahweh. And he invites others, proclaim Yahweh's greatness with me. Let us exalt his name together. Rejoice with me as we consider how great Yahweh is and how much he cares for those who love him. Verse number 4 begins this section where it reflects back again on David's experience that I sought Yahweh. He answered me Not only did he answer me, but he rescued me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant with joy. They are shining. They are bright with joy, which comes from being those who are blessed by Yahweh. You know, this poor man cried out. David, I was a poor man. I was in a horrible situation. I cried out. Yahweh heard me. He saved me from all the troubles. And in fact, that's just what Yahweh does. The angel of Yahweh encamps with those who fear him and rescues them. And notice there is not just anyone who calls out to Yahweh will be saved, but it's those who fear him, those who have a proper respect for Yahweh, who seek to honor him in all they do. Those are the ones whom he will rescue. So just taste and see that Yahweh is good. And here's the thing, whenever we get just a small taste of Yahweh's goodness, what should that do? Well, that should move us to dive in completely into him, so much so that we seek to make him our refuge. Make him our refuge. Nothing else in this world. We talked about that yesterday in our Bible class about where people turn for refuge in times of instability and trouble. But really, the only one to whom we need to turn is Yahweh. Verse 9, you who are his holy ones, fear Yahweh. For those who fear him, notice this, lack nothing. Look at the end of verse number 10. Those who seek Yahweh will lack nothing. Then there's that line in the beginning of verse number 10. Verse number 10 and line number 1. Young lions lack food and go hungry. You know, young lions, out of all the lions, young ones should be the ones that are able to be self-sustaining. But here, the most self-sustaining and self-sufficient animal that there is will go hungry. Whereas those who fear Yahweh, those who seek Yahweh, they will lack nothing. They will not lack any good thing. So here is the invitation then of David based upon his experience. Again, he's reflecting on the experience in 1 Samuel chapter 21 and verses 10 through 15, based upon his experience of crying out to Yahweh, being the poor man who needed Yahweh, being supplied by Yahweh. Here is David inviting others to investigate. Just taste his goodness, and you'll recognize that he is the one to whom we must turn. It is only in him that we will lack nothing. So here, verse number 11 really gets to it. Learn from me. Come, children, listen to me, and I will teach you the fear of Yahweh. You know, who is someone who desires life, who loving a long life to enjoy what is good? If you want to enjoy that life, then you need to live according to Yahweh's ways. Keep your tongue from evil. Don't let your lips produce deceitful speech. You know, turn away from evil. Do what is good. Seek peace. Pursue it. This is the road to blessing. This is the road to enjoy Yahweh's goodness. For the eyes of Yahweh are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry. But his face, Yahweh's face, is set against the evil. He's going to remove all memory of them from the earth. But when the righteous cry out, again, Yahweh hears them, and he rescues them from their troubles. Yahweh is near the brokenhearted. He saves those crushed in spirit. So there's the righteous that Yahweh is looking at. Again, the righteous cry out and Yahweh hears. And what does he do? He rescues and he saves. Yahweh listens to those, but again, he listens to those who are righteous. The righteous cry out. Yahweh hears and he responds. The righteous cry out. Yahweh hears. Yahweh responds. For the reality is, unfortunately, and David, again, looking back and knowing the background, and you know, if we didn't have this information supplied in the psalm, I don't really know if we'd have any clue that this is the background situation that David wrote this psalm against. But knowing this background and knowing, you know, him running from Saul, knowing him being delivered from Abimelech, and knowing just all the different struggles that he faced early on in the story that we have of David within Scripture, yeah, those who are righteous has many adversaries. That's for certain, especially in the life of David. But Yahweh rescues him from them all. And David's really referencing himself there, that Yahweh saved me from them all. What does he do? He protects all his bones. Not one of them is broken, which again, this is, I think, messianic in nature. The Son is going to be fulfilled in Jesus. And that's just the good that the righteous enjoy. Skipping down to verse 22, Yahweh redeems the life of his servants. All who take refuge in him will not be punished. On the other hand, again, this from David's perspective, being righteous leads to enjoying God's blessings. On the other hand, evil brings death to the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be punished. Remember, Yahweh is for the righteous. Yahweh is on the side of the righteous. Yahweh is blessing the righteous. But the rest of them, the wicked or the evil, or excuse me, the wicked, those who hate the righteous, well, those individuals, the text says, will be punished. Now we contrast that again with verse 22, which we've already seen. Yahweh redeems the life of his servants, and all who take refuge in him will not be punished. So the righteous taking refuge in Yahweh, they're not punished. But those who live wickedly, those who hate God, Yahweh's righteous people, they will experience death. They will be punished. So, again, this is, and I failed to do this. This is, I believe, the main foundation of a wisdom or teaching psalm. I think that's what this psalm would be. It would be classified a wisdom psalm or a teaching psalm. And how often do we have this being the foundation of such a psalm? Just the reality of the two ways in which we can live. We can do it righteously, we can do it unrighteously. That will lead to life, that will lead to death, that will lead to blessing, that will lead to cursing. This psalm is really just an expansion, I think, or an extension of Psalm number 1. You have the person who seeks Yahweh, lives according to his words, loves his law, meditates on it day and night. He's like a tree planted beside streams of water who's always producing good fruit. But that's not so for the wicked. No. They are going to suffer God's judgment. Well, here we see those same principles being carried out here in Psalm number 34. Those who are righteous, those who trust in Yahweh, those who seek refuge in him, they will find blessing. They will not be punished. They will be rescued. They will be saved. But those who are on the other side, those who are against God's people, those who are God's enemies, they will only ever suffer. They will endure evil. They will be punished. The question is, who will we be? Will we be those receiving a blessing, or will we be those receiving a curse? The wisdom is before us. May we be like David and be those who bless Yahweh, praise his name, boast in him, proclaim his greatness, and exalt his name together with the faithful. May that be us in everything that we do. If you have any questions or comments about Psalm 34, please feel free to leave that in the comment section below. And I appreciate you taking some time reading along with me on this Monday morning. Hope that you will join me again on Wednesday as we read together from Psalm 35, which the supplied heading is a prayer for victory. A prayer for victory. Psalm 35. Very much looking forward to reading that with you then. Thanks so much again for tuning in with me today. We'll see you on Wednesday. Take care and God bless.